This is your one and only 𝐕𝐸ₚ with your daily dose of video goodness, and welcome back to another informational Valheim video. The Caves update recently hit the public test beta, and today we are going to check it out. Let's get to it. So there has been a ton of stuff that has been added in this patch. We're going to start with the cave stuff first, and then we'll get into a bunch of other little bits and bobs like quality of life stuff and things like that have been added. But I know you all are itching for the cave stuff. So first, let's talk about the new armor and weapons that have been added. So the weapons that have been added are the flesh rippers. These are considered an unarmed weapon. Yes, you have a weapon, but it's considered unarmed damage. So yeah, that's that. They are going to cost you 10 of the Fenris hair and 6 of the Fenris claws and 10 silver. The flesh rippers at level 1 do 60 damage, at level 2 do 64 damage, at level 3 do 68 damage, and at level 4 do 72 damage. You will need to make those in a forge, and for just the base level ones, you will need a level 3 forge. That's to get just the level 1 flesh rippers. To upgrade them from level 1 to level 2, you will need a level 4 forge. From level 2 to level 3, you will need a level 5 forge. From level 3 to level 4, you will need a level 6 forge. Then we have the Fenris coat and the Fenris leggings. So those together will, each of them will cost 20 of the Fenris hair, 5 of the wolf pelt, and 10 leather scraps. Last but not least, we have the Fenris hood. That's going to cost a cultist trophy. It's going to cost 20 of the Fenris hair and 20 wolf pelt. So this one's going to be the hardest one to get because you're going to have to get a cultist trophy to drop in order to get the recipe for it. But well, you need all of these things, but this is going to be the harder one to get. You can easily find the Fenris hair down in the caves. Super easy. Caves dungeons are pretty easy to do for the most part. The things down in there do hit hard, but you have a lot of advantage down there, which we will talk about once we start to explore the cave you see in front of me. This new armor will also protect you from the cold. As you can see right now, I am taking cold damage if I equip the leggings. And we wait a second, you can see I'm still taking cold damage, but if I put on the coat, you can see that cold damage will stop. So this coat is all you need in order to stop taking any cold damage. Once you have that on, you can easily run around with no problem inside the mountain biome without any issues with cold. And that is also, I mean, the chest piece and the leggings are going to be your easiest pieces to craft because the Fenris hair is relatively easy to get a hold of down there in the caves. So are the claws. You can find them on the pedestals down there. You can get it from killing the monsters that, well, not the bats, but you can get it from killing the wolves and the cultists that are down there. And you can also find it on the walls. It'll be hanging on the walls as well. And you can bust it down. There's also some that you can just pick up and then you can bust the rest of it to get some to drop. So it's relatively easy to get a hold of. So making the chest and the leggings is pretty simple with just taking some wolf pelt and some leather scraps. You should be able to get that pretty easy. Like I stated before, the hood is going to be your hardest part because you need that cultist trophy. Cultists don't always spawn regularly down there, so it can be hard to find them. Then once you do find them, you need to get that trophy to drop. Let's take a look at the armor values. So the armor values for the coat and the leggings are the same as you progress through the levels. You can see it's 10, then at level 2, 12, at level 3, 14, and at level 4, 16, and same thing for the leggings, 10, then 12, then 14, then 16, and you only need, even at level 4, you only need a level 2 station to repair, and this armor is crafted in your workbench. However, you will need a level 5 station in order to fully upgrade your armor to level 4. So if we grab one of these level 3 pieces down here and we highlight over it, you can see needs to be a level 5 in order to upgrade it. Level 2, you need a level 4 station, and to go from 1 to 2, you need a level 3 station in order to upgrade that. And the hood and the chest piece are the exact same. So level 3 to get the level 2, level 4 to get to level 3, and level 5 to get to level 4. So that's the new items that have been added, and as you see here with the set, you do get a set bonus if you wear all 3 pieces. The Fenris armor makes you quick on your feet so that you can pass through fire, and your fists feel the power of the beast. So you are going to get a resistance modifier to fire damage, and you are going to get plus 15 to your unarmed skill. Wearing them each piece gives you plus 3% to your move speed, a total of 9% increased move speed. And if we look at my skills here, you can see I've maxed mine out, but if it was not maxed out, I would just have an additional 15, which would push this bar and it would be in blue. Now, I know what you're probably wondering, and that is, does unarmed damage do something now maxed out at 100 if I'm using my bare fists? No, you still only do like 6-7 damage if you're hitting things with your fist. If you take a look here, I'll hit this, you can see 4 or so damage. But if I swap to the claws, you can see I'm doing a lot more damage to the structure pieces there if I'm actually using those claws. Now, these claws are kind of insane. They do have really high sneak damage. So you can see the backstab damage is ×6. The problem is getting close to things is a little bit difficult because, I mean, it's essentially like using a dagger. You got to sneak up and kind of hope for the best. I was trying it on the wolves down in the cave, and it's not super easy to do, but if you do manage to hit, they do a ton of damage because of that damage that you see there compared to something like a knife. So if we take a look at the black metal knife here, only doing 34, and its backstab damage is ×6. Take a look at this, backstab damage ×6. So it's got the backstab damage of the daggers, but it does way more damage than the daggers, and I was hitting for like 300 and some change with backstab damage. It's kind of crazy. They hit extremely hard if you can manage to pull that off. And if we take a look here, you can see they use a little bit of stamina. And if I reset my unarmed skill, it'll give you a better idea here of how much they use. If you don't have any skill in unarmed, you can see yeah, they use a little bit, so not too bad, not too terrible. With this update, we also now have some new buildable items. So we come over here to furniture. We have the red jute carpet, which you see here below me. That is the red jute carpet there. And then we also have curtains, which are freaking awesome. Check out these curtains. I love them so much. Yeah, the curtains. Yeah, you can place them either way. I have some placed over a window here. They look fantastic. I love the little additions to the build stuff that they add every now and then. I hope they continue to do this. Like, it's not a lot. We got the curtains, we got the rug, and then I called it on the standing braziers. So we have those as well. Yeah. Those look great. I love having ones that we can put on the ground besides the hanging ones. So the standing braziers are going to cost you 5 bronze to coal 3 of the Fenris claws, and then you're going to need a forge. Not too bad, not too bad. And you'll see how much loot we can get out of these dungeons once we go down into the one there. And then the red jute carpet is going to cost you 4 of the red jute, and you're going to need a workbench. And the curtains are going to cost you 4 red jute and 1 fine wood each, and you're also going to need a workbench. Okay, so the caves, this is what the caves look like here. That's the entrance to one. It did have a bunch of like hanging crystals and stuff, but those got destroyed. You'll see a bunch of ice that you can break once you're inside of them. I got a little crazy with a hammer, long story. Anyway, that's what they look like. They're kind of intimidating. Let's go inside. This is what you'll see in the front. You can see those hanging crystals there, or hanging ice sickles. That's the word I'm looking for, ice sickles. And then we have bats that are gonna mess with us right from the get-go. You can break all these ice that you see here. It breaks, which is really cool. And then we have one of the wolves, I guess that's how you pronounce that, and we have a bat. I'm going to go into Ghost here for just a moment so that we're not being attacked, and we'll talk about the 2 things that we just saw there. So the bats without any armor hit from between 16 to 18 damage. With armor, they're not too bad. The armor that I'm wearing now, the Fenris armor, they were hitting me for like 2 2 to 3 damage. So a little bit of armor is going to drastically reduce that. And I'm wearing fully upgraded Fenris stuff, so that's putting me at 48 armor. And you can see here with just wearing some slightly upgraded bronze putting us at 30 armor. The bat doesn't hit for very much. It hits for like 3 damage. Let's see. There you go. 2.9. They're not really a big deal as long as you are wearing some type of armor that's going to get you a little bit of protection. They're kind of more annoying than anything. They do have a decent amount of HP. As you see here, let's just get a tier 1 bronze mace here, and I'll attempt to hit one. So there you go. They do take a bit of a beating there, so they're not little one-shot guys, but they don't really do a ton of damage to you either. Moving on, we're going to head a little bit deeper in here, and as you can see, we have this 𝐈𝐦𝐻𝐸 here that came over from the side. It looks like there was a bunch of them sleeping here over on the one side here, and they do hit much, much harder. You can see here with this armor, I'm getting hit for 20-something to 30-something. Let's let one of them hit. You can see they also do a ton to my block bar there, or my stagger bar, which is going to cause them to stagger really easy. And they just broke that wall over there, and I wanted to tell you about that. There are destructible walls inside the cave, and so you want to make sure you keep an eye out for those. They're pretty easy to see. Another thing that you'll notice is like, this is what I was talking about having an advantage. You can see they can't figure out how to get up here, and you'll run into that. There's a lot of areas in here in which you will run into that type of situation where the things that you're trying to fight can't really get to you. And the bats don't attack nonstop. As you saw there, they do fly around. So they like hit, then fly around a little bit, and then will hit, fly around a little bit. But you can definitely use stuff like this to your advantage, and you can also use the stairs down as an advantage to hit things. You can see there they can hit us, but if we equip a bow, we could sit here and just peck at them until they're all dead, and you can do that using the stairs as well. So I'm just going to kill these guys off real quick here. There was a wall here. They destroyed it. We'll see if we can find another one here. You just kind of got to keep an eye out. This one is one, but it's going to lead to a dead end. So you can see there how it's got the big crack in it, and we can actually see behind it pretty easy, but you can attack it with whatever and break it to expose whatever is behind there. In that case, not a lot. And coming around the corner here, I also want to point out you can discover Motor's location, boss location in here as well. They have the stones that expose those can be found in these caves now. So these are the stairs that I was talking about. They just lead straight down. They're like cool spiral staircases, but you can use them to your advantage. It's a little annoying to fight bats on them. So if you do run into some bats, manage to kite some close to you while you are on the stairs, just kind of hop up to a flat location so that you can hit them much easier. It's kind of a pain to fight on the stairs, but you can use the stairs to your advantage. And the caves are normally dark. This is a bug right now. I don't know why this is like this, but it should be dark. It's actually great for the video. I wish I knew how to replicate it, but keep in mind that you can't see really well in here under normal circumstances, and it will be dark. You will need a torch. You don't have to have a torch. You can see without it, but it's definitely going to help you to have a torch. So if we come down in here and we kind of explore around here a little bit, you can see I called it on the little screenshot that they gave. You can pick up crystals in here. They're not mineable. They just pick them up. I mean, you can hit them and damage them and they'll fall, but you can also just walk up to them and hit E, and you'll find varying amounts of them clustered on the walls. So this appears to be a dead end. We're going to fly up out of here because it's easier than trying to climb back up those stairs. And we're going to go a little bit further. Now, eventually you want to get deep down in here and find a cultist room, and they're deep down inside the cave. You can see we have another motor stone there, and we have a breakable wall. So we will break that and expose apparently some more bats, and it looks like another breakable wall. And then here we have another 𝐈𝐻𝐸. So these guys are just kind of all over guarding the area. The bats are a constant annoyance down here, and I want to talk about the bats because they also added a new event, and that event is you stirred the cauldron. And in order to trigger that event or to get that event to happen, you need the key of killing a bat. So if you don't ever kill a bat, you'll never get that event. But as soon as you kill a bat, you get the key that allows that event to spawn. So keep that in mind. That won't show up until you actually kill a bat. All right, and as we explore further down in here, we finally come across one of these doors, and these are where you are going to find these, so you can bust those down, the curtains, and you will get jute. You can see there, I just picked up some jute, and we did not manage to find any cultists down here, but we did find some Fenris hair, so you can find that down here as well. I'm going to continue to explore to see if there is actually an occultist room. You can also find these chests, which will have, random goodies in them as well. All right, so 3 caves and 0 cultists later. I'm just spawning one in so you can see what they look like. So I spawned this guy in. This is this kind of similar area to where I've always seen them. It's behind a gate in these type areas here. Usually they're around the wolf head statue that sticks up out of the ground. This area seems to be slightly different. They'll also have a lot of fur hanging up high. So it'll be like this, but it'll have fur hanging down, and you need to grab the fur off of it, and then you can destroy this as well. So it's a good idea to bring a bow with you so that you can shoot things that are up high, because there's lots to destroy in there. So this is what the cultist looks like. We will just unghost. So now you can see they light you on fire. That's fun times. And then you burn. This is why having something to deal with that is probably a good idea, because that is their attack. And yeah, there you go. So you can get behind them real quick while they're doing that attack, but then they also have that swipe attack as well. And then when you kill them, let's see if we can manage to kill them. They burst into flames like that, which is a pretty cool effect. So I've spawned in another one so you can see the damage that they do. So there we go. We're taking 33, 36 fire damage, and he's hitting us for around 30 some damage. Looks like there was a 28 in there, a 30. Yeah, well, it's hard to see the numbers of him slashing compared to the burning from the fire, but yeah, so they're no joke. They're definitely no joke, but you can, like I said before, make use of your surroundings to deal with them. You can kind of kite them around, use a bow. A bow is going to be super handy in this type situation, especially since those guys have a bit of range on their own. You can kind of just kite them around there, and you can see, I think that he may be stuck now, and we could probably just stand here and kite him pretty easily. He doesn't seem to want to be able to step down. So if you kill a bat and you end up triggering an event, and it ends up being a bat event, you can see there it says you stirred the cauldron, and we triggered it, and the command for that is just event space bats, and you can see we have a bunch of bats showing up. And not too many, but it's enough that, yeah, they could cause a little bit of trouble. And they're just, like I said, they're more annoying than anything if you are wearing decent armor like I'm wearing here. You can see they're hitting me for 1.7, and they don't seem to really be too concerned about the structures. They're mainly concerned for me because they can get to me. I'm sure if I ran too far away, they would start attacking the structures as well. But yeah, so just make sure you have a decent weapon, or you're perched up somewhere where you can hit them pretty easily, and with a bow, and just kind of snipe them out of the air. They're not too bad if you have some decent armor. So if you're like tier 2 bronze armor, you're going to be pretty much okay with these guys. They do come flying in like you saw there and go after you all at once and attack you all at once, and they kind of fly around and just hit you one at a time, and they continue flying in until the event is over. All right, so that covers all of the new items and cave stuff. So now let's talk about all of the quality of life stuff that has been added. So first off, they have added full full controller support. So for all you controller lovers out there, you can now play this game with a controller. The other thing that they've added is an FPS limiter. So if we come over here to graphics tab under settings, you can see right here, we can set our FPS. I always limit my FPS to 30 because that's what I record at. So it just works out well. Yeah, you now have an FPS limiter. Another really cool thing that they added is a little marker to all of your building pieces. You can see there's a little arrow there now. So that's basically denoting forward. That is the forward marker, allowing you to see which way you have smaller things like this turning. They also, if you take a look, you can actually see more clearly now that yellow glow there, yellow square radiating out, showing you where you are attached to, is now a lot more lighter. I can actually easily tell which way this is placed, and that little arrow is on pretty much everything you can see there, showing me forward. That is just a nice little quality of life thing. I'm glad they added it. I'm also glad they made these much easier to see and actually see which way it is facing now. Another thing they did is they added a weight bonus to the corpse run buff. So if you take a look here at my weight right now, we are at 81 of 300, and we're going to drop out of the sky and die. And if we grab our grave and get the corpse run buff and take a look, you can now see that we are at 450 weight. They did this to compensate for if you were full up and you are wearing the belt and you have it unequipped. It doesn't auto equip. So now if you had the belt on, increasing your strength, and you go to grab your corpse and you would be normally overweight, now the corpse run buff gives you time to get away and re-equip that belt without turning into a sad Viking. The armor stands now support pole arms and shield styles. So you can see here, I have a styled shield and it is showing up on the armor stand, and the pole arm is able to equip to the armor stand as well. Another thing they did was escape now pauses the game, and they did this really cool effect. Wait for it. Wait for it. You can see how it's kind of just like turning back and forth ever so slightly. I love it because if there's stuff that's in the air, it like freezes in the air and then it does this cool effect, and it looks, this is a nice little, just a nice little touch how it just kind of rotates the camera back and forth there while the game is paused. Another thing that they did is you can now stack items if your inventory is full. So you can see here I have a full inventory, all of my slots are filled up, and I can pick up items that are stackable and they go into the stack. Beforehand, that was an issue, and now that has been fixed. A lot of nice little quality of life stuff. So this is going to be an absolutely fantastic update. Just tons of little quality of life. The new dungeons are absolutely phenomenal. They're just fun to explore, and I love how they're like, the verticality of them, they're like deep, so you go down instead of just like the other dungeons where it's just like exploring a maze. This is like a vertical and horizontal maze. Like you got to go up and down and up and down. Really cool, really well done. I love the new building pieces, and yeah, I think everybody's going to really enjoy this update. It's a nice little touch to the game. Let me know what you all think about it down there in the comments section. Also, was there anything I missed? Anything I did not cover? Let me know down in the comments as well. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. If you did, consider hitting the subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified when I upload other content. I want to get absolute massive shout out and thank you to my supporters on Patreon for making this episode possible. Y'all are absolutely amazing people. If you'd like to join my elite crew of Patreon supporters, please check out the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and share your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.